we do get into it. I do agree with your point as well. Like, you do have these supports that tend to drop off very, very fast if you don't have a good start. But the thing is, when I look at the draft of what Cactus have, I believe they should be off to a good start. So let's see what they can do. At the very least, I would love to see our pos for Earth Spirit rotating a lot into mid. Like, I think both these supports can really ensure that Butterfly Effect has a very good SF game. So I don't think either side lane for Cactus needs their support to stick around too long. Like, especially TZY on the Clockwork, on the Timbersaw rather. Like, you could certainly just leave him alone and rotate. And I could probably arguably say the same thing for Summer. Just let the man farm, just rotate, make sure Butterfly Effect is dominating mid lane. Otherwise, you might find both your support to just turn into the most, not the most useful kind of supports.
Yeah, you're going to need to ensure Butterfly Effect has that good time. I would say first 2 levels are going to feel really good for Butterfly Effect. But once you do have decent points, or at least a value point in Heavily Jump, catching a real one might be a little bit tougher. We'll see how far they commit. They do manage to snag away an extra bounty rune, it does look like here. And that should lead to a bit of a smoother start for Cactus. A little bonus gold. Love seeing that we still have this insane stat padding that's popular on the NP. Triple branches plus the wand, so like +6 stats across the board. Nothing like the Blightstone start, but again, if you're not expecting to get too aggressive in that lane, that does make sense. Just stat up, cop the lane as best as you can. The Dawnbreaker is still going to be manageable for like level 1 to 2. Level 3 with level 2 Celestial Hammer, that's where things start to get a little bit more painful if you're out of position, and your treants definitely just start to become food there for the Dawn.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Summer's just really focused on getting those, just dominating the lane in terms of the creep score, right? Like, just make sure you get those creep hits, get the deniers off as top lane. Bocce's already dropping very low on the Mirana. It's going to be okay. Just being chased down here by Fish King. But he'll be all right. He'll back off. Of course, meanwhile, mid lane, you are going to have Real and Butterfly Effect going at it. Now, I dare say the Zeus should have a bit of an advantage in this matchup, but Butterfly Effect is really giving it to it. And he's already out of mana.
Yeah, this is a really spammy lane for the Zeus to have to win out. And for the SF, it just feels a lot more threatening when he lands one spell in. You have to really back off as the Zeus. You can't really stand and just fight. They're both out of mana now, so rune control is going to be big, and that's where your point about the sports come in. If they can rotate by even the 2-minute rune and deny 1 rune away and secure one for Butterfly Effect, you start to widen that gap here for the SF Zeus matchup quite heavily.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what they do. Butterfly Effect just continuing this real aggression here with the right clicks, knowing that Real cannot do anything to fight back without that bottle. That bottle is incoming now, but Butterfly Effect will have his first, so there is a chance. He hits level 3 mark, he could go for the double raise play. There's one, but he won't go for a second yet. Thing is, if you are Real, I think it's going to be very challenging to get that water rune as top lane. I mean, never mind. They take down Fish King, so no rotations to come in for the water runes. So maybe not. Maybe Real's got one.
Yeah. He manages to, get that refill for himself. You can at least get like a TP bottle refill if you need, but Fish King does head back up top. And you feel pretty good as the Zeus now. Like, you're not under threat of dying unless you cop much more raises than you'd want. There's still like a couple of mangoes in Butterfly Effect. So you can look to be aggressive, but you really need those supports to line up here.
Oh, Jilmy. Bottom lane, he's going 2v1 here on the Clockwork. Like, with the Battery Assault, he's feeling quite confident. Eventually, he will have to back off as the Battery Assault does end up expiring. And well, I suppose for him, he's kind of fortunate because Wenhao does not have the level 2 yet, so no toss-back potential. He is zoning out very nicely, though. Like, Summer's having a great old time on this Prophet, finding so many denies. They are going to try and make a bit of a jump in, but they missed the Celestial Hammer. They might try for a Starbreaker, and they do actually connect. But Summer should still be okay. Had they landed the hammer initially, they probably would have had enough damage, but I think he may have gone a bit too early. He could have held on to that and just relied on the Avalanche to set up for the Starbreaker.
Yeah, missed opportunity at the same time. You're not too unhappy. Like, you're pressuring the lane quite hard for the NP. He's still managing to find farm. And it's a bit interesting that Y does opt for level 2 Starbreaker instead of the hammer here as well. So focusing for maybe just more kill opportunities with a Tiny than clearing out the creep wave. We do have a little bit of a swing towards mid with Fish King. Has an interesting angle here on the Earth Spirit if you can land an opportunity. Real's not the healthiest, and he has no bottle charges here as well.
Real stuck around. He just saw Fish King de-ward him. He'll very fire up and does survive. In fact, now the turnaround. Never mind, it was all a bait. Oh, that's perfect. And now even the water is being denied up here by Bocce, ensuring the butterfly effect cannot get the reset. That was really darn perfect, because he had literally just de-warded the high ground ward that the Zeus had. And you would think that Real would just back off and play safe, but it turns out it was just a bait.
Yeah, that was such high risk coming out from LRNR here, but it pays off. You know, they bait them in. They understand that there's got to be a rotation mid. They see the D ward, and they're ready with their own supports. The TP and Bocce comes in, provides the cover. They get the toss back as well, and then you have that opening. So you're winning out in your mid lane, the one lane that really needs to be pretty won hard by Butterfly Effect. Like, he's not losing in CS, but you're also not pressuring the Zeus hard enough that he backs off. The Fish King is hanging around once more, this time not under the cover of vision. So they could try to make another play.
Yeah, he's going to give it a shot. Real, copying one raise, boulder smash does connect, and Real should just be dead. The Wenhao is coming.
Ooh.
Nice little jump away,
Ooh.
and now the Duke on the roll. In fact, the SF's in trouble. Oh, no, not again. And Real tips him immediately. These rotations, they are just not working out, and that's a big death to give away to Real.
Just saying how well Butterfly Effect was doing in terms of CS, but dropping that death to Real with another rotation that just doesn't connect as Fish King gets punished as well. I mean, you've got this perfect start for LRNR. Like, they're finding everything. Their side lanes are looking pretty well. You're not really losing out in a massive way. Maybe your lane for Y is a little bit slower as he does fall down bot. But your mid strong even. You've got a Bloodseeker that's going to have its really good timing on the Maelstrom. And a Zeus that's just going to have an early level 6 to pressure. Everything you could possibly ask for is lining up here.
Wenhao, he's still going here, John. Look at this. Arrow is going to be taken by the Earth Spirit instead, so Fish King will tank the gank here as Summer's going to try and rotate. But do they have the damage? He ends up sprouting the Mirana. Real could have just jumped out of the sprout anyway, had he been sprouted, so this rotation, it amounts to nothing from Summer. And I mean, the Prophet, he's already got a Midas queued up. He wants to play the farming game. Look at this, mid lane. They're not done yet.
Ooh.
The clockwork. Julmi, he's going to be okay to back off as Wenhao does not have mana for the toss back. But I love the fact that this Dire side is putting so much emphasis on shutting down this mid lane as hard as possible.
And they understand that the SF timing is probably the most sensitive one. Like, this core does feel like it needs to get up and running as quick as possible, and they've done their best to really slow down Butterfly Effect. Again, he's still farming pretty damn well, and he is still number 2 in network despite all that attention. So you could argue that the investment's not quite paying off for LRNR as long as Butterfly Effect farms are happy.
Top lane, Big Can in a bit of danger, but is going to go for the silence. Is going to be okay as TTY has a Meteor Hammer on. Well, of course he does. There's not really any contesting this Timber now. He will just take that T1 tower down for free. Big Can gonna have to go into the jungle, I think, and try to reset himself with some kills with these creeps. Meteor Hammer Timber, so I suppose, is not something too surprising in this current meta. As we just see anyone pick up Meteor Hammer these days.
Yeah, it's everywhere in the right circumstance. If you farm it fast enough, like, the stats are pretty ridiculous. 8 all attributes, 6.5 HP regen, 2.5 mana. Like, it covers literally all your bases for almost every hero here as well. Trying to rotate mid though.
Oh, Butterfly Effect, not again. Arrow gonna connect, toss is up, but he's too healthy for now. He'll back his way out. In fact, he's turning right back around. He wants the fight, but he will die to the Thunder God's Wrath. He gets Bocce just before he goes down. As Wenhao, he is not going to drop either. They have the Solar Guardian. Why? He'll go for the chase onto the clock, but won't have the mana to follow up. Nevertheless, it will be another win for Lonely Rock and Roll. It looked like a decent turnaround from our SF, but going down to the Thunder God's Wrath, that's never going to pay off.
No, Real just managed to get his Arcane Boots and pop them there for that last bit of mana on the Thunder Gods. Find themselves some big kills. Like, you are finding these wins for LRNR, but map control isn't really going your way. Like, because of TZY, tops just completely shoved in. You don't have an easy way of pushing bot as well for Y. Like, they can't just fully commit to these objectives. They don't have the fastest push with this draft. And despite going 2-7, you've still got this slight net worth lead coming out for Cactus. So it does feel like for the side of LRNR, they need to do a little bit more. Maybe find a way to shut down the map, block some camps, get some forward vision out, because there's still enough room for both Butterfly Effect and Summer to keep this build up despite these deaths.
I think the big net worth deficit is the fact that Y has just found no farm on this Dawnbreaker. Like, he's sitting at 2.8k net worth at the moment. It's like really behind compared to the rest of his team. They are rotating even more bodies down to the bot lane, so maybe just trying to secure the bottom tier 1 tower. Here is Lonely Rock and Rollers. They are, oh, Butterfly Effect, not him. That's the big one you really want. Have they seen him yet? Arrow? It's actually going to be thrown back towards the Dawnbreaker. Y is running. They were trying to hunt him down, but the cavalry is incoming. Perfect avalanche from Wen Hao. And that, oh, that'll be a double. They do find Fish King. They will find G-Me. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly,
Jumi?
John, but Jumi. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Something like that. My pronunciation isn't that right as well. Nice kills. Good punishment. One more.
The Solar Guardian's going to land. Tosses up. They'll try to sprout to help Butterfly Effect. In fact, it's going to be enough. Requiem's out. Butterfly Effect going to turn right back around.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they were lacking just a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that's where maybe this under farm and under level on Y starts to come in, although.
Real? He's a big one. Sprout is out. He's gone.
Yeah,
they were off to such a great start, John, but they're starting to throw some kills back the other way.
They're throwing some kills back, and again, the net worth isn't. It's just not balancing out. Like this is just not the way you want yourself to be in this game, despite being like kills ahead. Sure, a little bit of that is down to Y being underfarmed, but that doesn't explain how underfarmed Real and Big Can are in comparison to literally every core on Cactus. TZY's had free lane top, no one can contest. The Timbersaw, Butterfly Effect, and Summer are just so efficient in their farming here as well. Like, none of the jungle shut down because these objectives still stand, and LRNR just don't have the push. Like, yes, they can find these kills, but if they don't translate that to objectives sooner rather than later, then you can expect Cactus to be more than happy playing this farm game and sacrificing their support to do that.
Wen Hao, top lane, looking to maybe try and go after TZY, but that is not an easy target. Like, he has the Hood of Defiance up, so plenty of magical defense. Instead, Lonely Rock and Roll just kind of surround Big Can for a moment. And the Bloodseeker's just fine farming jungle. Problem is, he's still not able to really keep up when you compare to something like the Prophet and the SF. Especially considering Summer is going for that classic Midas into Maelstrom build-up. He is just going to escalate so darn quickly. His mid lane, Jumi, nice hook shot. He's going to be okay. Just making sure he gets the Arcane Rune away from that Zeus. And it feels like with a draft like Cactus has, like, you just need to drag the game up. That's all it's about.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty damn fantastic job at that as well. Bit of a clump up here in the bot jungle, but the two supports don't really have anyone to play with unless they call in for the Solar Guardian, which you barely have the mana for on Y. It's just going to be a little bit patient. And again, the patience just favors Cactus so much. Like, they still maintain control on two very different parts of the map, like
Summer,
Big Camp.
Nice sprout block. Gets out of the Blood Right, but they don't have the follow-up. Now, TZY was not in position for that. And even if he was, you don't really have the lockdown with these two.
You say that, but there's technically like a Sprout Meteor Hammer combination. So you can find a way. Life finds a way there, Mike.
Yeah, I guess it does. I mean, you've got two supports who could lock him down so easily, but why not just go Sprout Meteor Hammer instead?
You don't need it. Yeah, just buy Meteor Hammer every game, every hero. 100% of the time. Can you imagine something like Warlock Meteor Hammer? Sounds god awful, but could you imagine it? Like,
I mean, if you could channel on
Golem
people and Meteor Hammer, that might work. Why?
I like the way you think, Mike.
Yeah, bottom lane. They're going to find the Dawnbreaker. Another great kill here for the side of Cactus. And if you're lonely rock and roll, like, yeah, you're trying to hit your timings now. You're just trying to get some farm up and some levels up. But the fact that Cactus are the ones running at you with the greedier draft does concern me quite a bit.
Like, I feel like for Lonely Rock and Roll, they just haven't done enough with their early timing. They miss a hook shot onto Real One. You should be able to back out, but you can see that Cactus are now more than willing to clump up. They've got some early items up. Butterfly Effect has his Dragonlance and his extra Ogre Axe, so he's got a lot of HP to play with. TZY's finally left top to show down bot, but you still don't have an answer for this Timbersaw with Meteor Hammer, who just no one is going to cancel that, and just slowly going to melt through your objectives. Yeah. And Cactus have played this game really well, and they actually take the tower. Bocce not able to deny. Like, the map is just shrinking for Lonely Rock and Roll, even though, again, they've got the kill lead. They've just not been able to use it to take over the map and stop this farm game.
Here we go, TZY, he wants to fight. No hookshot out yet from Geo-Me. In fact, he might have a chance now, because Wenhal's trying to move in for an avalanche toss. But TZY, he's just so tanky, though. Unless you land a Rupture, he's not going to get caught. And even then I have my doubts, quite frankly. He just casually walks away. And that was a 4-hero rotation down to the bot lane to try and find that Timber. As they'll go again. But Chains Away is there as soon as he sees Wenhal. As they are still trying to chase him down. We'll see if they can land this Rupture. That's the only way they have a chance at killing off TZY at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be enough even with that. Maybe if you manage to get the toss back on top of the Rupture. Because you've already got that Hood of Defiance. You're super durable. Oh.
Yeah, a bit of a missed hook shot, and that might just be a free kill. So they will Rupture up the Clockwork instead. Stuck in the blood right. Geo-Me, still alive, is now Bocce. He's going to be hunted down. A big Wrath of Nature, hell of a lot of damage coming out. And Wenhal's just going to drop. It's just desperate play here from Lonely Rock and Roll. So they can't even pick off the Pos 5 Clockwork.
Yeah, I'm surprised Big Can committed a Rupture. And they knew it was really close to the tower. And they knew that the Timbersaw was still there, so it's going to be hard to intercept onto the clock and try to commit for the dive. And just, it doesn't cost them much, but it does give a lot of value out to Cactus. Like, now TZY is free to keep Meteor hammering the tier 2 on bot. The top is already down to half HP. If TZY can do that down bot here as well, then you're pretty satisfied. You've got the full pipe now, so your Zeus Burst is going to feel a lot less bursty in these bigger engagements. They'll try to smoke play here on LRNR though.
Yeah, here we go. Big rotation from Lonely Rock and Roll. Starbreaker to start off with. Requiem is there from Butterfly Effect, forcing them back a little bit as Y now trapped up. I don't think they have the damage, but oh, just barely. Just barely. They'll get the Maelstrom proc, and that'll be enough as they even found another. Bocce, he'll try to leap away. He's still on the low ground. Meanwhile, when Hal gets caught out. Oh, no. It's just such a mess.
Yeah, it's all one by one. And for LRNR now, their issue is going to be scaling. Like, outside of all these map control issues and how these fights are going, their next thing is scaling back into this game. Because you can hold high ground with a Zeus. And we are seeing Real One kind of farm up for the Yags. They're going to lose this Roche opportunity for sure. I don't see an angle for them to come into this. So free Roshan, first stage of the game going the way of Cactus. But even if you can hold the high ground, like, you're depending heavily on this Bloodseeker to carry you through. Like, yes, Dawnbreaker can also kind of scale, but considering how the net worth of Y has just not been in any good shape this entire game, it's hard to see him reaching that point where you have some, like, say, Ags, Shard, and BKB on top, with maybe a Basher or AC to mitigate some damage. That's a long way off for the Dawnbreaker to scale back into this one.
Real, he's going to find Summer. If they had some backup here, Summer, even with the Aegis up, like, they may have been able to find the first life. They will not. And now Y, top lane, he's going to be kind of surrounded. They have the Rod of Atos up, so Y is just dead. I gotta tell you, John, as a Dawnbreaker enjoyer myself, I really do dislike Pos 3 Dawnbreaker at the moment in the current meta. And we are kind of seeing why. Like, it just doesn't really do much.
I'd argue back against that. I think Dawnbreaker Tree still works, but you don't go Desolator. Like, you just can't be this damage dealer. If you go for, like, Aura and Team Play and Util, it's really good here to have global Util on hand. They'll try and Jumi here.
Jumi. I mean, he's got TZY right behind him, and they have the pipe up, so the hookshot is there onto Wenhao, and Wenhao is gone. Meanwhile, Big Can gonna run right into Fish King. He's gonna go for a rupture of BKB up, but Fish King's got backup. Big Can needs to run, and the rupture once again just does nothing.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't feel like a great game for the Bloodseeker to just rupture and stand, even with that BKB. Like, he needs follow through. He needs his team around him to really have that impact. It's a bit disconnected, right? Like, he has to pop all these things to back off. He's down to 8 seconds. Oh,
it's really tough now. Like, he's almost got a Gleipnir up on the Prophet, John. It's a very tough position for Lonely Rock and Roll at this point.
Yeah, like, I don't see them scaling back into this game. I mean, yes, again, they can stall. Maybe once you've got the full ags up in Real 1, you can try to drag this game out. I don't know if you can come back in unless you get, like, great blinks out from Wenhao.
Oh boy, here we go again. Solar Guardian to try and help out. They'll at least find a clockwork with that. Everything being expended, and they'll find both supports, but TZY, he still wants Real down. Chains off the mark though. Now he's dropping. He'll get ruptured up. Have they thrown this game back the other way? They may have made a pretty big mistake here. This Cactus, they dropped 3 for nothing.
Yeah, they kind of get greedy jumping in there. They get punished pretty well. I'm surprised Summer just doesn't commit in, like Summer and Butterfly Effect, because they still have Aegis for a decent amount of time, but man, you make some sacrifices. It's a good set of kills for LRNR to find, and that does lead to Y finishing up his Desolator and his Shard. So the Dawnbreaker has a lot more presence in these fights. They're going to try again.
And they are still the stronger team, still 9k ahead as Wenhao. Well, they're going to lose the Aegis on their Prophet, but they do find the support Tiny as Big Can will run off with the remaining duration of his BKB. Doesn't want to be here any longer. Hookshot though, very nice from Jimu. Does find the Mirana. The silence is there, the Rotobae toss out, and that means Bocce is just dropping. As Butterfly Effect is going for more. They want Y. Sprout, it's not going to hold him in. The Rocket Flare does connect, but he's still alive. Just barely. But Cactus, they do fight back. And they do basically take back what they just gave away.
Yeah, they compensate. They make up for it. They're going to be able to probably just find this tier 2 bot now as well. And again, like that last fight that went well for LRNR, I mean, it looked good. Whether or not they can find another opportunity like that, just it feels like it's just down to Cactus throwing these opportunities their way. Quite frankly, right? You're 12k up. You've got like 2 really good scaling cores. You've got a Timbersaw who went off from a really good laning phase into this really high durability point. LRNR will try though.
Mid lane, TZY is hanging around. He's not the easiest target again, but if you land the rupture, you basically lock him down long enough. Problem is, TZY has somewhat backed out. He's still hanging around the mid lane, but nowhere nearby. Instead, Wenhao might find the clock, might find Fish King on the Earth Spirit. They'll get some vision down. But it seems like the side of Cactus, they know that something is a little bit wrong here. So they back off at the perfect moment. And Lonely Rock and Roll, they're going to find absolutely 0 for their trouble.
Yeah, I think that was actually the rocket flare flying over them as the smoke broke, like specifically on Wenhao. So he was right in range for the smoke to pop. Rocket flare was going out right then as well. So he had the info to just back off. They force out the sentry down there as well. And it's just more time wasted for Lonely Rock and Roll while the side of Cactus just keep getting that build up. Full Gleipnir for Summer. You've got the full Kaya Sanj up and running for TZY. Locking in that Timbersaw is going to be a hell of a harder job. And you're also inching towards the point where Butterfly Effect will have its Silver Edge. So again, your scaling's kicking in here for Cactus, and for Lonely Rock and Roll, it just doesn't feel like you have any clear solutions. Like Real 1 is going for the E-Blade. So maybe then you can make some plays, especially with the fact that I mean, you've got BKB still up and running in the pipe, but at the least you can get some punishment out when some of that protection is down. It still does feel like most of this game is going to be on Big Can and Wenhao. Now that he has his blink, we need to see some plays come out from Tiny. This is a really late blink coming out from him, but it's been a tough game for the supports of LRNR in particular.
I mean, problem is now you're fighting into the silver edge of Butterfly Effect, and it seems like they want to smoke up and use that timing. They're even going to find a nice regen rune here for Butterfly. He'll go ahead and bottle that one up. And they are wrapping right around the other way. Right behind the side of Lonely Rock and Roll, they'll find Bocce. Roll in. Nimbus will cancel. They'll try to blow up the Earth Spirit, but he has a BKB up. Still, Big Cat's going for it. He will find one as TZY. He got ruptured. A nice hook shot from Jimmy. Trying to fight back. They'll find the Bloodseeker. Big Cat's gone. Real's gone as well. They even found the Mirana in the end. It's just so rough. Like, they commit everything for Fish King, and that's about all they get.
And that's a beautiful counterplay out from Cactus, though. Like, that hook shot onto the BKB Bloodseeker and then trapping him in the cogs. I mean, he just couldn't get out. He was just stuck there. He feels strong, but even up against just the supports coming out from Cactus, you just can't do much. And for Lonely Rock and Roll, it does feel like this game's just down to trying to get a good avalanche toss. Summer's on the hunt. Not gonna be able to find why.
Not yet. They do have a dust on Fish King, but he's going to get those spidey senses tingling here to really find him. Wyatt's going to have the Moonlight Shadow run out in just a moment. Does have a TP available and will commit the Solar Guardian top lane instead. Who have they got? It's going to be TZY. That's a very nice pickup here for Lonely Rock and Roll. And it gives Y an escape route.
Oh, manages to bail out in the nick of time. And that does give him a lot more gold towards his Blink Dagger. So you can have the Dawnbreaker just jump in, try to get the Starbreaker Celestial Hammer. Get a lot more output with that Desolator as well. And they're still holding high ground, so there is still some play left here.
Fish King's just manning up by himself here, John. Magnetize being popped. He does pop his own BKB, but he was ruptured up, so he's going to roll to his own death. As Wenhao will walk his way out of this. It's kind of the classic Earth Spirit play. You roll in by yourself and you pray that your team's going to back you up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I don't think he had that many teammates nearby. In fact, I'm trying to recall if there was anyone nearby. It's a good pick-off for LRNR. Not the biggest loss in the world for Cactus, though, to be fair. Like, again, Butterfly Effect and Summer are still building up, are still getting their farm in. Despite these losses, they've got the full Hurricane Pike up on Butterfly Effect, going for the Satanic next. I guess SF is going to be your big issue along with Nature's Prophet. And
Hook. Oh, Wenhao caught out on the Tiny. He's gone. It's just, you get hooked or rolled on. You just die so quickly to the damage output of Summer. As they are waiting for the next Roshan. 1 minute, 5 seconds away. They'll try to take the outpost and control that dire jungle area. It's Lonely Rock and Roll, their ward's getting de-watered. They really don't want to lose these right now. They need this area of control. But it seems like Cactus, they will get away with it. And we'll see if they can position themselves here on the side of Lonely Rock and Roll to try and contest the next Roshan, because I do feel like that's going to be extremely important.
they need to find a way to get themselves in that pit here. Like, just stop Cactus from taking a clean Roche. You have the tools on hand. Again, a lot of this game is kind of stuck on Wenhao to like jump in on the Tiny, get his backup from the Zeus and the Bloodseeker, and maybe even just Y coming in with the Solar Guardian as well. And then you can still take these fights. It's a lot harder, but it is a possibility. As we do have a bit of a cheeky pause and an immediate unpause with no chat here. A little bit interesting.
No chat necessary. Just unpause the game. Who cares? Everyone's ready to go. Someone, speaking of, John, he's bot lane. He's by himself right now, but he still holds that T1 tower. So he's kind of fine. Like, they've got a rotate point if he gets in trouble. Can't say the same for real on the mid lane, though, as he needs to be very cautious not to get caught out. But Roshan's up.
Oh.
That means Cactus, they will go right in.
Yeah, straight into the pit. No vision here from Lonely Rock and Roll to kind of watch that. They'll try to find that bot tier 1 at 28 minutes in. So they should be able to find that in exchange for the Roshan. Probably not the best trade in the world there, Mikey, but you know what? That
No.
tower needed to go. Right? This is
It
something we were
certainly
talking
did.
about way earlier on. Like, this forward jungle is just giving them way too much farm on the side of Cactus. But now it's a bit too late.
Why? Oh, nice hook shot. Very, very nice hook shot there from GME. They will find Y, who does pick up his BKB, but there's now a sight device on Summer, and it's still a 16k net worth advantage for Cactus as they control practically the whole map. They are definitely looking towards going to high ground very, very soon, though Summer, thinking about TPing bot lane, does end up going. Bocce and Wenhao on the run. They've got vision to keep track of where the Prophet and Fish King are. But now the Rocket Flare does give vision over them. As everyone from Cactus is running down towards the bottom side of the map. Even big cans around this area at the moment. TZY on the chase, Big Can cannot return back to his triangle at the moment as TPs are going for the supports as well. They're going to be alright. Big Can has walked back towards his base through the bottom lane, so he should be just fine as well. But again, like, I do appreciate the fact that they are just not opening any part of the map as mid lane leaps away. It doesn't matter. He got crit. Oh,
Yeah.
he got crit last hit as well.
Yeah, just
That's
on the
rough.
last. They clear out the Nimbus as well, so that's going to be one little high ground tool that's gone here for LRNR for a little while. It doesn't look like you're quite in the position from Cactus to really force high ground yet. They are more than happy just, and again, taking it slow. They've got the scaling, they've got the timings. They don't need to rush onto the high ground, force a massive issue out, because that's where LRNR theoretically shines. Like, these blink tossbacks from Wenhao can blow this game open for them. It's just finding that opportunity when the enemy won't push is pretty difficult. Again, just look at the discipline from Cactus, holding the triangle instead, keeping the wave shoved out, but again, just not committing until they feel like they're ready. I do think they are ready, but I respect that they respect LRNR.
Yeah, I mean, high ground's very challenging in the current meta, right? Like, it's always this point of the game where you take everything off the map and you've got Roshan yourself, but you still can't approach high ground because there's just so much comeback potential if they do win a high ground fight, which is something I believe everyone's asking to change in the next patch, because the high ground just feels impossible, even at a 19k net worth advantage. Just so risky for these teams to try and go for. And so you are right. They are just going to sit back for now. It's the classic thing anyway, right? Like, if you control the whole map and the enemy can't farm, you just take all the farm and get such a net worth advantage that they just can't compete even in their own base.
Yeah. I forget who said it. I think Fear said it at one point in Tour 1, where it's like, if you have a 20k lead, I mean, that's a 20k lead. You know, you can try to outplay all you want, but 20k worth of items is a lot of items. That's around, what, 5k per core almost, and 5k split between the supports. That's a lot. So it's just really difficult for LRNR to do that. They do have the Scotty up in Big Can. I don't know if that's enough. It doesn't feel like it's going to be enough unless they can kind of combine and just play off with Wenhao, have a follow-through damage. But again, Cactus just not giving that opportunity. They're just going to chill and play optimally, Mike. Optimally.
Yeah, optimal is important here in this game. There's just no reason to rush. We've seen this one before. Just take it easy, boys. They'll lay back for now. Just farm the triangles. It is lonely rock and roll that have to be patient, though. Jimmy does move in. Bocce, he's going to be okay. When Howard does get caught in the cogs, it will get pushed back, and there's going to be a rupture out. Who is he actually caught with that? It's TZY, but he's literally taking no damage. They just do no damage. When Howard, he's going to try for a toss back, but they're not within range. He had no toss target.
That's a lot more commitment out from LRNR. Sure, you got maybe a couple of BKBs to fly out here.
Here we go again. Toss? No, it's not there. They did. Oh boy. I'm not even sure what happened there because they had the sentry on the ground.
Blade.
Well, they had the sentry though.
Maybe he's like, all right. No, I think maybe he was a few units away as well. didn't want to walk up
Right.
anymore because he figured, he didn't have time. And yeah, they need to execute on that.
Here we go. Top, or rather bottom lane, Big Can. He'll be okay just sitting back. Got a full Satanic now available on Summer, but he's not ready. He might just want to wait for the next Roshan. 22k advantage. Again, there's just no reason to really rush because they can just pick off anyone on the map as soon as they show. And I do believe it might just be a matter of we're either wiping them and going high ground or we're waiting for next Roshan, if you are Cactus. But they might get that wipe that I just talked about here, John.
Oh.
Why? Pops his BKB? No, it was just the shards. But Hookshot is there. Lock him down, hex him up, and he's just dead. Now maybe you could try to force high ground and get a buyback going.
Yeah. They're still showing respect to LRNR. Did smoke up. So just holding back again. Pick off just not quite enough for that commitment on the all-in. And then we're maybe less than 2 minutes away until seeing that Roche timer back. So yeah, just wait for Roche. Why not? No rush. And Whitehouse, again, in a pretty decent spot for the smoke for the toss back. But we just haven't seen that connect yet.
No, certainly not. And smoke amounts to nothing. They still cannot venture back into the jungle here as Lonely Rock and Roll because it is occupied. They are keeping very close tabs, and it's the thing as well. Like this clock has Ags now, and as you can see, the rocket players are just flying in and out. It's so hard to avoid the vision that's now being provided. Like it feels like at this point he will just always know where you are as the clock until that overclocking does run out, which it does now. So they are going to try and make a jump in. Rupture is out onto Fish King. They'll blow up the Earth Spirit, but here comes Summer. It's a 3-man Gleipnir, and they are just going to get shredded by TZY. When, how? Where's the sentries? There it is. They'll at least find the Tiny as well. Both supports going down for Lonely Rock and Roll. There is just no escape from Team Cactus.
No. They couldn't even get the toss back. Like, that was only a toss in the air. They couldn't toss him back with a Rupture. So they missed out on some of that Rupture damage here as well. Ooh, Summer?
He's gone deep, but he's got a Satanic. He's got to hit them, though. Oh, he had to avoid the stun. The bocce arrow was coming in. They do get the profit. And that's going to be enough. They get a range Rax, and they are forced to back off because Summer got a little bit too aggressive. He could have bought back if he really wanted, but had he died back, that's a very unnecessary risk here for Cactus. So instead, it's back to farming.
Yeah, just back to farm. They only take the range racks as well, so you're not too worse off, although.
Never mind, Bocce. He will just get destroyed here by TZY and Butterfly Effect. Again, this triangle is off limits now. Like, they've got full vision around the area. You cannot approach the triangle of the Dire.
Nah. You really can't. And on the side of LRNR, they can play under top jungle instead. They are kind of marching back up, taking control of the outpost, trying to get what farm they can onto Big Can, onto Real One. If the refresh on Zeus is going to be pretty big, double ult, double Nimbus, double BKB is really going to help him last a lot longer these fights and maybe look for that turnaround potential. But it's like you said a while ago here, Mike. It's just a matter of waiting now for Cactus. Next Roche in half a minute. They've still got pretty much complete map control here on the side of Cactus, except for maybe giving top out. And you've still got this really nasty gold lead on Butterfly Effect and on Summer. As long as Summer doesn't TP right in front of 3 heroes, you're fine.
Don't say that too early. He almost
could
did.
do it again. He is a bit of a madman.
Yeah.
I guess the summer heat's getting into his head, Mike.
Very funny, John. That's a good one.
I mean, it's kind of bad because your name is Summer. Surely you enjoy summer. You wouldn't name yourself something that you hate. Like, I'm pretty sure Bocce doesn't hate Bocce to Rock. You wouldn't ironically name yourself Bocce.
You're going a little bit deep here, John. He never said he hates summer.
Yeah, but I'm just assuming, like I was just saying, summer heat's getting to his head. But maybe that's what he likes. He likes getting a bit woozy in these games. Who knows?
Roshan, it's getting very low here, John. Run right.
What is this?
Awkward pause timing.
Oh,
Kale is the call. I don't know. It's a very awkward timing.
that is. Oh, that's the kind of pause where you're playing in the pub, and you're like, all right, yeah, this is yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is a great time to pause. They have vision. They have leap. They have blink on when how they have to go in, I think. Roshan,
Oh
it's so
my
low.
God.
They make the jump in.
No way.
Summer has snatched the Aegis. It doesn't matter if you can see in the Roshan pit. Only fast hands matter. And with that, lonely rock and roll, they will be punished. They will all drop, apart from their Zeus, and Wenhao has disconnected.
Oh boy.
Is it because of lag? We will find out very soon.
I mean, he did manage to get that jump in. He just didn't manage to snag the Aegis, but a commendable effort. I believe they stole cheese on why. They do have the cheese up. So they got cheese. They didn't manage to get the refresh shard, unfortunately, and the Aegis, of course, but they take something out from that equation. You lose 4 heroes for basically a cheese. You're not feeling great. That should be the high ground opportunity for Cactus. As we see the reconnect come back in. So at this point now, if Cactus go and push high ground, Mike, I think we're in for another 20 minutes. If they push now, then, you know, they solidify their lead. They keep every lane shoving in, and you don't have the best solutions left on LRNR. And this is really when they should jump. Just, you know, use that Aegis, use that refresh shard, get something going on the map, guys.
I mean, at the very least, like in that time that the Roshan was happening, Real did end up picking up the full refresher orb. It is actually on the courier right now. So assuming that doesn't get taken out, he's going to have those double Thunder God's Wrath and double Nimbus available for that next team fight, which could force the side of Cactus to back off. Because it is a hell of a lot of damage being pumped out in an instant by this Zeus if he does get all his spells off. As they do take the mid-tier 3 tower. Mid-Rack's now under siege here by Cactus. Trying to get in position to defend as good as possible. Summer does get forced back out of the bot lane. Just with the Nimbus alone. They'll find the mid-racks. Still 24 seconds left for the Bloodseeker to be back up, though he does have buyback, but clearly does not want to commit. Bocce will get spotted here by our clock, but is going to be able to leap away, and they'll find 2 Raxes for their trouble. Only 1 Rax left up at top lane, but it's happy days here for Cactus. They again can back off and reset, and they'll have plenty of time on the Aegis so they can just come back another day.
Yeah, no need to rush. Only 1 set of racks left. And what I realized, Mike, there's one thing that this icon from LRNR reminds me of. It reminds me of casting Echo League. Because every team would have like an anime poster, right? Especially in like Southeast Asia Echo League and our NA.Div.A, I think is what we called it back then. This just takes me back. I was like, this feels familiar. Like, all right, the degenerates in the league. Right, exactly that.
And look how well that went for them, John. Only DNM made it out. TCY. Just going to move in. Wenhao, he's already caught out. Big Cat, he pops a rupture, but he's been hexed up. The Cog's pushback buys a bit of time. Summer, he'll refresh. Another Hex that will at least put him in the ethereal form, but it won't matter. Requiem out from Butterfly Effect, just blowing him up. It's time to call it, boys. This game is well and truly over. As Real is still trying, but the GG was called. Game number 1 does end up going the way of Cactus. And I'll tell you what, John, they looked at...